Hey plant people, thank you so much for stopping by for today's plant shopping video. We went to Pike Nursery in Suwanee, Georgia, and we had a lot of fun. I think it's a beautiful location. I was very surprised at the health and just the overall wellness of a lot of the plants there. In our area, really all we have is like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart. So it's just really nice to go to an actual nursery where the plants are in really good condition and they look really good. Almost every plant there was in good condition. They had a couple that were struggling just a little bit, but I think that's pretty like common. You're not going to have every single plant that's doing well. But Pike Nurseries is a chain that is in Georgia and North Carolina, from what I understand. So if you are in the Georgia, Carolina area, you may be able to find a Pike Nursery in your location. And I think because they're a chain, they have pretty similar products across those store locations. I did end up getting one plant, just one little plant. My boyfriend's mom very kindly purchased this for me there, and it is the Syngonium milk confetti. And I just cannot believe how full this plant is. There are 4 large clusters, if you can see in here, that all have multiple stems. And this is literally the fullest Syngonium that I have ever seen. Like there's barely even room. I may end up having to separate these because they're so squished together because there's so many plants that are in this container. I did go ahead and repot them and I left them together for now just because I don't want to have multiple pots of this. I do tend to like a fuller look on Syngonium. So as long as they're doing okay and they're not like struggling for nutrients or fighting each other or anything like that, I probably will leave them together, but I could always separate them if it becomes an issue in the future. But I just love this plant. I love Syngoniums in general, but I just love how white and like almost minty the leaf is with these splotches of pink. I think this is one of my favorite Syngoniums. This one and the Mojito and the Albo, of course, which is really, really beautiful. But I was, again, just so surprised to see not only this plant, because I know they have been popping up even in big box stores a little bit, but just how full and how beautiful that pink variegation is on here. Like this leaf right here, that is so incredibly beautiful. And Syngoniums do sometimes kind of like climb and trail. So I may in the future look into getting maybe like a trellis or something for this so they will have something to grow up on as they get a little bit older. But for now, I'm just really loving the way that this looks in this really nice full pot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the plant shopping video. I will be doing a voiceover. As I said, I went with my boyfriend and his mom and we were just having a really nice time. So I didn't want to like be talking and like about every single plant while I was walking around. If you like this video and you want to see more content like this from me, please like, please subscribe. It would mean so, so much to me. So let's get into the plant shopping. All right, guys, so we are going into the entrance of the store here. And just right off the bat, I really love just the entrance and the overall feel of Pike Nurseries, especially when you come through the door. The store is so clean and they have such a variety of stuff here. So they have like patio furniture, they have outdoor stuff like wind chimes, decorative stuff. They also have seeds and soil and lots of different pots. This is one of the displays when you walk through the door. It has a variety of Pilea that we see here. So we've got some Pilea, some Transcantia, some more of the more common plants. They had some Syngonium there as well and some common succulents. And these small succulents are $4.49, which is a pretty good price for succulents of this size. And they have some really cute little guys over here. I'm not sure exactly what type of succulents these are. I'm not huge into succulents and cacti and euphorbia and things like that. I also really like these little close terrariums. I just like terrariums in general, but I just thought those were really cute to like put maybe in your kitchen or on a table or something. In here we've got some more Transcantia. We've got some Peperomia. This one has a little peace lily in there and some Syngonium berry illusion, I believe, as well as a Moon Valley. And I thought these were so cute. Like, you have your little hedgehog there. Like, they did such a good job of making these just so adorable. They have little tiny furniture and like watering cans and stuff. Those would be really great gifts for like someone in your life, like your mom or sister or something that really like plants. Like a housewarming gift is what I picture that as. And just going in the door, they had this little fountain and an Aglaonema stripes over here. And these plants, along with most of the plants that you'll see, as I mentioned previously, are just incredibly healthy. Like, they look really, really good. They look like they had just gotten the plants in. Again, I'm coming from an area where we pretty much only have Walmart and Lowe's. So even though that's kind of like bottom of the barrel to start with, I thought all the plants here looked pretty good. And I originally thought this was a mature Andersonii, Monstera Andersonii, because I am not really big into these type of Monstera, but it is actually an Esqueleto. I did find pricing and a name tag on a different one later in the video, and this was $100 for this really, really mature version. And then over here, we've got some more of those Aglaonema. I believe this is stripes as well. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just starting to kind of get back into Aglaonema. I know that this white one that you see over here with the speckling, this is known as Aglaonema Cloud Farm or Snow White, I've seen it called. And then we've got some Silver Bay. We've got some really big, beautiful peace lilies. A lot of the Aglaonema Snow Whites. And then around the corner here, we have some Maranta. So I believe most of these are red Maranta. Maranta is another genus of plants that I'm just starting to get into, but they looked very healthy and very cute. We've got some hanging baskets of pothos up there that were $20 each. And they had a lot of varieties of pothos. They have the white one that was at the beginning, which is either the Enjoy or the Pearls and Jays, some neon, some golden pothos. They also had some Cebu Blue and the Silver Streak pothos, which is what this is, also known as Epipremnum amplissimum. And these, I think these are really beautiful. Their growth pattern is not my favorite. I think I would have to get them up a pole in order to really like how they grow. And then we've got a lot of Aglaonema over here. So we've got Pink Valentine, which is what this is. And these were all $24.99, which is a pretty good price for how healthy they are and the amount of plants that are in there. So even though this is a smaller pot, there are multiple plants in each one of these. We also have here in the middle, this is either Tigress or Shades. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. But if you like this Aglaonema and you look up either Aglaonema Tigress or Aglaonema Shades, you'll find two varieties that look very, very similar to this. Then we have some more of the Snow White. Beautiful variety. And then we have got some more stripes, I believe, here, as well as Silver Bay. And this one on the end, I was very, very tempted to go for this one just because I really like how you have the darker splotches of variegation on here. I believe this is an Aglaonema Moonlight. They have it labeled as Golden Fluorite, but I think I've seen either this one or a similar one named Moonlight. But it's so cute with that pink veining and the variegation of the green on the leaves. And then we're coming around the edge here, and then they had a variety of snake plants over here. This is actually a mandarin plant. I do really like this one. I'd like to get one of these one day just because I like how bright orange their stem is. Like, I picture this hanging in a hanging planter and just being able to see those bright orange stems hanging over. A lot of snake plants over here. I know this is a more common variety, but I really like this one that kind of stood out in the middle because of the amount of that goldy kind of neon type variegation. These were all $20. They also had this really, really dark snake plant there in the back, which I thought was really pretty. And then, of course, we've got our ZZ plants, which are a really common plant. This, I believe, is a Tenanthe Burl Marxii. And these are green version of snake plant. Moving on to the, I'm sorry, I said snake plant, the ZZ plant. And then these are the chameleon ZZ plants. I do see these popping up in Lowe's and Home Depot for $20. These are $30, but they do look a lot healthier. And I feel like the like the variegation there, like in this example, is much prettier. Like you see more of that veination than the ones that I've seen popping up in Home Depot and Lowe's. And then of course you've got your Calathea orbifolia. This one's really beautiful. I know these get fairly large, but I've not actually seen many of these like just out in the wild here. And I was really surprised for $20 how big these leaves are at the top and how healthy they are. I mean, as you can see just going through here, all of these plants look pretty good for being a larger greenhouse. We got some more of the Burlmarxii over there, some pink star, which is what this is. Actually, I think this is either, no, I'm sorry, it's Beauty Star, not Pink Star. So this is Beauty Star, and then the pink one behind it, I believe, is the Pink Star. And then this one with the variegation, that's a Tenanthe Liberciana. And then this one is a Calathea green lipstick. Of course, we've got a lot of cute peace lilies over here. Peace lilies are very easygoing, beautiful plants. This side, they had so many ferns. I was very surprised by the amount of ferns that they had. I am not very knowledgeable in the fern department. I've only ever had a couple of ferns, one of which will be the silver one that you see on the end, which is a silver lace fern. This right here is a crocodile fern. I really did like this one just because it really looks like crocodile skin, especially in real life. And it's just so interesting. And for $20, again, like you can see how full these pots are. This one right here, I was actually really attracted to this one because it reminds me of the Anthurium scorpionis. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but it has that same feel and coloration as well. And then this is that silver lace fern. So I did have one of these once that I did unfortunately prevent from surviving. It was kind of, the soil just wasn't absorbing water as well as it possibly could. So it ended up kind of being hydrophobic and it just didn't work out. They have a bunch of peperomia over here. So these are some variegated peperomia. I do like also how consistent the pricing is. So most of these like larger size pots, these are all $20. This is a Peperomia red log, which is really beautiful because of those red backs, especially if you have it somewhere around eye level where you can really appreciate that. And I believe these are Peperomia red ripple, which are a really popular peperomia. I have seen these in the big box stores as well, but not nearly as full as this. So you can see every single one of these pots has just multiple clusters of plants in it, which I really appreciate because you really never know how the plants are going to do. It's nice to have a lot of options. And this is a Homelamina emerald gem. I do have one of these that I picked up from a big box store, and this is a very, very easygoing plant. It's really beautiful as well, and it's just nice when you have something that's kind of more easy to take care of, and it's so pretty. The leaves on some of these were really large as well. All the leaves on mine are still pretty small. I believe these are Dracaena, not 100% sure. We've got a variety of Syngonium here. So this is the Syngonium milk confetti. So this is one of the ones that I picked up. And I think this is the exact one that I got. Actually, I was just drawn to those top leaves, I believe. But the rest of them were all just as full and just as beautiful. They had so many emergent leaves that were coming out that you really couldn't see like how many leaves were coming out of the plants. They were all kind of rolled up, but they were just all so full and slam packed in there. They have some of these green variety of peperomia, which are in the hanging baskets, and they are clearly extremely happy because they are blooming like crazy. They have all those little spikes going everywhere. And I thought this was a really beautiful, I'm assuming this is some type of fern. This was $25. And this just is so beautiful, the way that they have it hanging down and kind of the red and golden and bronzy tones that are in there. And then on the end, we do have some money trees. So these are your basic money trees. I believe those were $20 as well. a lot of different varieties of ivy. I am still very much in love with these variegated ivy. However, they do tend to be quite difficult to grow indoors. They do really prefer an outdoor environment. But for $16.99 and just how gorgeous that variegation is, that would be very tempting to me if I had not killed many species of ivy already. And they have some Philodendron Blvd for $30. The leaves on these look really nice. Like, they are fairly nicely sized for that pricing. And they have some Philodendron Gloriosum over here that has the cutest little jumping spider. I'm just so obsessed with jumping spiders. I think they're like the cutest things ever. I keep watching all these YouTube videos of like people with jumping spiders as pets. That may be something that I want to look into in the future. But this is I believe this is the Gloriosum, the zebra version, because the veining, that white veining is so prominent. And it is $30 as well, which is a pretty good pricing for that one if it is the zebra. They had a ton of Monstera over here. So we have the Andersonii, which was the more fenestrated one, and then the Deliciosa. We also have some Monstera Peru over here. And we've got some Heartleaf Philodendron. And then this is a Philodendron Prince of Orange. And I was just really shook by how beautiful and vibrant the color is on this one for $30. My Prince of Orange does not look anything like this. And I thought just like how that pink veining was such like a neon pink. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then we have some Silver Syndapsis over here. These are really full baskets for $20, I believe they were. And another thing that I like about this nursery is they have these little place cards that kind of tell you a little bit about some of the plants that they have for sale, where you can learn how to take care of them, like at a very basic level. Obviously, I would recommend still looking them up, but it's just nice to have that little tidbit of knowledge there. This one was really pretty. I can't remember what that's called, but that was $20. And these are just some more of the, I don't actually think that's what that variety of plant was, but. And then we made it over here to the Dieffenbachia. So I was really, really surprised to see this one. This is the Dieffenbachia crocodile. And this was the most interesting plant. The backs of the leaves, like obviously the front is really beautiful, but the backs of the leaves have this just like totally crazy, like it's like gills going up the back of the plant. And they're just like this really strange texture when you feel it in real life. Then we have some Dieffenbachia Camille over here. This is a really common one that you'll see a lot of places. Do just kind of keep in mind, if you do go for Dieffenbachia, that they are very toxic to plants and people. So make sure you're keeping them away from pets and children, etc. This was an Alocasia I don't know how to say that, Chanterii. And I've never seen one of these in real life. And the shapes of these leaves are just so cool. Like, I have a lot of Alocasia and it kind of takes a lot to impress me, but I just thought those were really interesting. This is the Alocasia Regal Shields, and these were $20. Very large leaf size on these. This is another very, very, very easygoing plant, the Alocasia Regal Shields. This one right here is a Zebrina. It has that cool kind of zebra striping on the stem, and then that was a Alocasia Jacqueline that's struggling. I was just checking out that Chanterii, however you say it. We've got some cool ficus over here. I really like the Ficus triangularis. Is that how you say that? Triangularis, which is this one. I think it's really cute, the triangle shape of the leaves, and then just how pretty the variegation is. It kind of reminds me of like a butterfly a little bit. And we've got our basic ficus over here. So we've got the burgundy and the ruby and the Tanake. My pronunciation for these is not the best. I've owned and collected plants for a very long time, and if it hasn't improved by now, it probably never is. And they do have a few little Hoyas over here. So we have some compactus for $25. We also have some microphylla, which I believe were also, $25 on those. I really liked this one in the back that had these really long, kind of like Hoya Ketiana. these really long kind of knife-like leaves. I find that very attractive on Hoyas. And then we have our crotons over here, some cutesy pineapple plants, and this was a really beautiful one. If I had more space, this would be another one that I would have been tempted to get. This is the Anthurium Big Red Bird, and this is a bird's nest Anthurium. You can see how crazy those roots are there in the bottom. But these guys are so easygoing, so much more easygoing than like your velvet-leaved Anthurium, and $30 for those. You can see these leaves are just absolutely massive. I could not believe this was only $30 for this size of a plant. And I love that red veining against the dark green of the leaves. That is just so incredibly beautiful. But they are called Big Red Bird because they're so large. So that is not something I currently have space for at this time. I also have a large variety of bird nest Anthurium that are still growing, so I didn't want to go too crazy there. And then they've got some green Carnosa up top in hanging baskets, and then another little section over here with some succulents and cacti. They have that really cool looking fishbone cactus sitting on the edge there. And then they had this big hanging basket of Hoya pubicalyx, and she was blooming, and I had to smell it, of course. It smelled very, very pretty and floral to me, and I thought these blooms were just so pretty. I've not actually seen these in real life, and $25 for this huge basket. You can't really tell from this angle, but the leaves were just absolutely massive on that guy. So $25 I feel like is an incredibly good deal. Again, we got this fishbone cactus, some really beautiful begonia. We've got, this one is $25 for the Begonia immaculata. And the leaves on these were just so large and thick and felt so like substantial. Mine's not doing the best and the leaves are kind of flimsy. So it's really, really a difference in the leaves on these guys. And this is a Paulownia repens. The trailing watermelon vine also is what it's called, I believe. Or trailing begonia, watermelon begonia, something like that. But it is not a begonia. These are really beautiful plants, and the leaves are kind of leathery when they get bigger, really pretty in hanging baskets. And then they have this other section over here that's kind of like a mixed variety of smaller pots of some of the plants that we had already seen. So $8 for these smaller pots. This Marantha is absolutely beautiful. We've got the Orbifolia calathea, some red Marantha, some more of the zebra or stripes, Aglaonema. And then they had the smaller containers of pothos over here. They actually had this huge section of neon queen pothos, which is the first time that I've seen it in real life, for $9 for this huge pot. That is just such a good deal. And I am one of those people that are kind of getting tired of all the varieties of pothos, honestly. But when I saw it in real life, there actually is quite a difference between that and the Snow Queen pothos or the Marble Queen pothos. There is a huge color difference. And this is the Jungle Boogie that they have over here, Philodendron Jungle Boogie. And then we have Philodendron Moonlight, which is this one right here. I do have one of these, and these are really, really easy to please. Mine's been in the corner of my bathroom for a while, and it's growing like it has absolutely no issues. We have in the back the Philodendron Ring of Fire, and the variegation on these were $40, which sometimes you can find them at big box for $20, but I've never found any that have this nice of variegation in the big box stores. These are Philodendron Silver Sword, which is an easygoing philodendron. $13 for these that have reasonably mature leaves. Like they're not huge, but they look pretty nice. It's a pretty good deal. And then up top, we have a Rhaphidophora decursiva, I believe. And then we have some Philodendron micans down here that look a little sun bleached. Like the coloration is not as dark as they have some other ones that you'll see later that they have indoors that the coloration is a bit darker. And then we have on the end here some Monstera silpeciana, I believe that's called. This is a syngonium. That's either a Batik or a white butterfly. I'm not sure exactly which one. Some pink syngonium, and then this is that Monstera silpeciana, however you say that. These you can find sometimes in the big box store as well, but this one was $20, and I just thought the coloration was much nicer on this. Like you really, the ones that I've seen in the big box store, the silver is not quite as nice as that. This one, this is a Peperomia Jenny, and this is the pinkest. The Peperomia Jennies that they have were the pinkest Peperomia Jennies I have ever seen in my entire life. I have one and it's not nearly that pink. This one, I do not know what the variety of this Peperomia is. I did try to look this up just because I thought it was really pretty with its cute little like ruffles along the edges, but I could not figure out what the name of that is. So if you know the name of that Peperomia, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know what that is. This one right here, this is the watermelon Peperomia, and all of these are $8 or $9 for these smaller pots of Peperomia, which again is a very, very good price. We have some more variegated Peperomias, kind of like a green on green, and then a creamy white, some silver Peperomia, polka dot plants, Transcantia, if I can speak. These were some of the plants that weren't doing the best. So these were some Alocasia. This is an Alocasia caprea, Red Secret. And she has seen better days, as well as some of these Alocasia Jacquelines. However, with some TLC for $20, not a terrible price. I'm sure they would grow back out pretty quickly. And this one actually looked like it was in pretty good condition. This was a newer leaf. So you can see that one looks much, much nicer. Another one of those Chanterii. Oh my gosh, I'm going to drive myself crazy not knowing how to say that. I'm going to have to look it up after I do this video. Some Pilea Moonlight, or the friendship plant, Moon Valley Pilea. I really love these. I feel like these are a really underrated plant. And then they had a darker version of those Pilea over here, which I thought was really beautiful. They have these kind of like glossy, dark, silvery leaves, which are really pretty. They call them Pilea Chocolate. And then we have our bromeliads over here. Everybody knows what those are. These I had to look up. This is an Apicea. It's in the African violet family is what I learned. And these leaves were just really, really lovely. Like they were very, very soft. And I was surprised by how large the leaves are on some of these. Like, I just think that's really beautiful. It does remind me of the Pilea a bit too, like the Moon Valley Pilea. It has kind of like a similar growth pattern. But that one was really beautiful, and they actually had several varieties of those as well. This is a Calathea mosaica, or the mosaic Calathea, which you could see why it's called that because it does have that mosaic type pattern on it. And these were $20 as well, which is a really good price for that. That's a very large pot for $20. And then I was surprised to see this one. This is a Dieffenbachia panther. I actually have one of these, and it was only $9. I can't believe that's $9. I had gotten mine in a big box store a while ago, but I've not seen them anywhere since. And $9 is just a really good price on that. These are some smaller little pots of Begonia maculosa for $15. And some more Hoya pubicalyx for $15 as well. But these were really well grown out little pots. So $15 for that is, again, a really good price. And then we've got the red Marantas. We've got some more of the Philodendron, Ring of Fire. This Alocasia caprea looked significantly better than the other ones. It is very, very hot outside still. So I know everyone that goes outside right now, whether it's plants, animals, or people, it is really a struggle because of how hot it is. And then we have some more Philodendron Moonlight back there, Monstera Andersonii, some snake plants. And then this side of the nursery had the larger plants. So this is, again, just giving you a little bit of information about Aglaonema. We've got some Silver Bay over here, which are really beautiful silvery for $40. No, $60. Okay, these really big ones are $60. And this one, someone had commented that this one is the Aglaonema Golden Bay. And this one is so beautiful in person. You really do get a lot of that golden veining that just doesn't pick up as well on camera. And then these are some more large planters of the Silver Bay, some large peace lilies. These are absolutely enormous Philodendron Rojo Congo. I've never seen a philodendron for sale anywhere that is this large. And these were only $50. So if you wanted like an absolutely massive philodendron like statement piece, this is the one for you. And they have, of course, the Monstera deliciosa. This Schefflera, I absolutely love. Like, I've been looking for one of these Schefflera with the inner variegation. Unfortunately, this one is just fairly large. So again, I have way too many plants. I do not have room for a very large plant, and Schefflera grow so quickly. So I'm just not really looking for that large of a Schefflera, but with that inner variegation, I would love to find one of those someday that is a little bit smaller than that. And then we have some more, I believe these are, what are these, Dracaena? Maybe, I don't know. You see these everywhere. These are going to be everywhere you go, Walmart, Home Depot. They do have some very large ones here, and they have these that are like totally neon yellow, which I thought were interesting. And then over here on this side, we have some kind of cool like tree type plants that you can put indoors. You do have the Bird of Paradise over here, which were $40 or $50. Some pretty large fiddly figs. This is a really pretty Ficus Audrey, I believe this is. And the leaves are actually very kind of like soft and velvety on the underside. Yep, that was an Audrey, and that one was, I believe that one was $60. We have some very large burgundy ficus, umbrella plants over here. The leaves these just look so healthy. They're so like glossy and nice. And that one was $60 as well. Got some ponytail palms, and this is, unfortunately, it definitely has spider mites, but this is the biggest Alocasia stingray I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, this thing in real life, this leaf right here that was like sticking straight up, it like touched my nose. I have never seen an Alocasia stingray remotely this large anywhere, and it's $100 for this sucker. But I'm just thinking that thing has got to be slam packed with corms. There's no way with it being that big. And then this is a Dieffenbachia. They're calling this Dieffenbachia Sublime, which I think is correct. And that one is $50. It's really nice just to go to a nursery where the name tags are correct, because, you know, Lowe's and Home Depot and everything like name all these plants something very bizarre, so it's impossible to figure out what they actually are. This is a Dieffenbachia Camouflage, and this one is $50 as well. If I had more space, I 100% would have gotten, so they had two. This is the first one, and then you can see the second one back there. Like, how stunning is that plant? If I had space for that, I would have, and $100 to spend on this guy, or $60. How much did I say that was? $60. I would have taken him home in a heartbeat. And this is a Stramanthe Trio Star. I've had one of these as well, and it actually, honestly, it held on for a long time with a lot of neglect. I'm really surprised by how well that one survived. But I just cannot get over how gorgeous this Dieffenbachia is, with the green variegation, this kind of like minty variegation with these larger splotches of green. And look at how large these leaves are. I was just absolutely in shock. This was another one that I wish that they had a smaller version of. I would have loved to have a smaller, just like baby plant of one of these to take home and grow out myself. And then maybe in the future when I have more room, it won't be as much of an issue. They do have this Alocasia, what is this? I think it's Macorzia, and that one was $50 as well. They have some ponytail palms over here, some more ficus, this really huge, beautiful palm tree. This one would be really beautiful to put outside or even inside if you had like a nice skylight or something. And that one was $300, but it is incredibly large. Over here in this corner, we have got this is a smaller version of a Bird of Paradise. The leaves, I believe there is actually a Bird of Paradise that doesn't get quite as large, and I think that is what that one is, because the leaves were kind of smaller, like their whole growth pattern was smaller than your typical big Bird of Paradise that you'll find everywhere. And then on this side, we have some more of those huge Philodendron Rojo Congos. We have this Philodendron Celium, which is, again, the pot is just slam packed. For $40, you get multiple plants that are all growing very well. And then we've got some more of those Aglaonema over there. And then on this side, they actually had a few pothos that were mounted. This one is $180. Now, I don't know 100%. Like, I probably would not pay that much for these just because they are looking a little bit rough. I think it's just from the heat and having to be outside in these really high temperatures. They're looking a little sad. The CB blues do look really beautiful, but that golden pothos was struggling just a little bit. This is another of the, what did I say that was? The Esqueleto, Monstera Esqueleto. On this side, they actually had a sale on begonias where they were 50% off. And they had a bunch of these really beautiful silvery ones. And I was looking for a price tag here. I did eventually find one, and they ended up being, I think, $25. So you could get one of these really, I was tempted by this one too. I thought that one was really beautiful, that Rex begonia. But you could get a really big pot of these for $13, which is a really, really good deal with that 50% off. And then we're back to some more snake plants. This one is a really pretty one. It was very silvery with this kind of like creamy silver striping against those silvery leaves. I think that one was around $100 as well. And I'm not sure what type of cactus this is, but this was a very big, chunky, spiky boy. And he was pretty expensive. And I don't know anything about cactus to know whether or not that is warranted. This one is a euphorbia. It was $100. And we've got some little jades over here, some Gollum jade. Really liked this cactus. I thought that one was really beautiful. And that one was $140, which I feel like is probably pretty reasonable for a cacti that size. They also had some string of things hanging up here. This one is a string of watermelons, and that one is $20. They also had some really cute string of hearts up here that I was trying to reach, and those were $25, I believe. But they were really cute. They were not the variegated versions, but they were still really cute. And then these are some more of those $5 succulents that they have. Some aloe, some of those fern type cactuses. This one is a string of turtles, which was also $25. Which was very, very cute. And then they have some more of the Dieffenbachia. These are really pretty with their silver striping. That one was $50 as well. That was a very large pot. And a couple more pots of these intervariegated Schefflera, which I am just even watching this back, like, I just think they're so beautiful. Like, the variegation on those is so pretty. And they're $30, which I feel like is not a bad price for how large it is. But I just don't have the room for a plant that large. And then they have some more of the smaller versions of the Calathea and Maranta, some rattlesnake Calathea, some ferns, some spider plants, little tiny cutesy pots of Hoya compacta. And they also had some carnivorous plants over here. So they have some Venus flytraps, which actually look like they were in really good condition, even though I could not find a pricing. This is the outdoor section. So I don't know what type of plant this is, but this one is just so absolutely gorgeous. This is one that you would want to like put out in your yard, however. But that coloration, just wow. They have an enormous outdoor area at this nursery. So I'm just kind of walking through here so you can kind of see the layout of the place. They just have rows and rows and rows of every type of outdoor shrub, bush, flower, anything you could think of, they have here. And I really like how well organized and clean all of the greenhouses are. And they have the fans up there. So even though it's hot, it's not totally miserable to walk through. My boyfriend's mom actually ended up getting one of these. I think they call them jazz hands or something. And these are just such gorgeous plants. Like, if you saw this plant in person, your jaw would just drop. I said this is one of the ones that really makes me be like, you know what? Mother Nature is really doing her thing out here. Like, it is crazy that we are able to have plants that look like this in our world. And you can see here just like all the huge, they have the largest planters that I've seen anywhere. So if you're in the market for a really large planter, they do have them there. This is the indoor section. So they had some Monstera Thai constellations, and I know that these are popping up for around $40. This one is $80, but the variegation on these was very nice. I feel like the ones that I see that are $40, the variegation sometimes is not the best. They did have these smaller ones too, which were also priced at $80. So I'm not 100% sure what is going on there, because I feel like those should be a little bit less than those. These are Philodendron White Princess. However, they are almost totally reverted. There's no variegation on those. We have a couple more Philodendron Ring of Fire for $35. Also pretty mature and really nice variegation on those. And these were the Micans that looked a little bit better. You can see they're more dark and velvety and trailing more. These were $20 for these nice large full pots as well. And then on this side, we do have some more of those bromeliads. We had some really beautiful African violets over here, which looked very healthy. All the flowers were very vibrant and nice. And on this end cap, we had some of the Anthurium, I can't remember what these are called, Anthurium adrianum or something. These are your typical Anthurium that you see at the grocery store or anywhere you go. These are primarily grown for these really beautiful flowers. You can see they have the pink, the white, and the red. And these were really beautiful. I'm surprised by how large these leaves were, because normally the leaves on these are not nearly that large. And that's it. So this is just kind of like the walking out of the store. I really appreciate all you guys for sticking around throughout this video and watching. If you like these videos, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!